All right, I'm gonna do a quick post trip. Let's put my driver's side turn signal on, my left turn signal, just so that way it's on. I'm gonna pop my hood. I tried recording it a few minutes ago, but got a phone call and got interrupted and just a pain in the butt. Anyways, these hoods are pretty light. I'm doing this with one hand, clearly, because I'm videoing. So I've already done my post trip. I'm just showing you guys again what I do. I'm checking everything. I'm checking the hoses. I'm checking the brake chambers. I'm checking the brakes. I'm checking all of the suspension. I'm checking to make sure that everything looks good. And if anything needs repaired, it will get repaired before I hit the road again. I find more stuff on my post trips than I do my pre-trips. You know, I found that, whereas that one was leaking when I had like 5,600 miles on here. I climb up on my tire so that I can have a better view of everything and make sure it all looks good from this angle as well, since I'm short, I'm 5'1". So I try and get every angle that I possibly can. And I'm distracted because I'm talking on the phone. Well, I'm talking on the video and trying to explain things that I don't normally verbalize. I just do it, you know. I don't think about it. I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at my fluids. I'm looking at all of my hoses to make sure they're connected properly and they're not leaking, they're not chafed, they're not broken, they're not cracked, they're not rubbing on anything. You know, checking to make sure all of these wires, everything is still the way it's supposed to be. I will check my oil later after it cools down because right now it's very hot. Check the suspension here. Zoom out a little bit because that was zoomed in really far. I check to make sure none of my injectors are leaking. Let me climb up here. Check my filter. Like I said, I get a different viewpoint from here so that I can see all of that stuff. So, like I said, this is my second post trip. I'm just recording it because I'm getting ready to start my 34. So, this is just extra time for me right now. One of my favorite things about this truck, my other truck had it too, but my other companies did not. The flatbed company and the tanker company, there's an assist on it. So all you gotta do is just shove it and it falls all by itself. All you gotta do is just come over here and then grab the vent, pull it down, and then, sorry, this is hard to do one-handed. I can't do the other side one-handed because of the angle. Oh, there's a fly. So anyways, I'm also going to check my turn signals here in a minute. There's my tire thumper. I don't think I could do this one-handed. I think I've tried this before. Nope, hold on. Stand by. Okay. Anyways, that one's hooked. So, now we'll walk down here. I will pump my tires. And generally, just so you know, I put spray on grease on my fifth wheel. And it comes out as a foam and then it turns into a liquid once it hits your fifth wheel. And when you slide back on and attach to your trailer, it always does that. So I'm gonna have to go to the Blue Beacon and get all of that washed off. There's some on that side too. So anyways, you're basically checking for things like, there's your brake chambers, any of your air, the air suspension is back over there. Sorry, I'm probably pointing the camera in the wrong direction. Your leaf springs, you want to check and make sure that there's no bumps on your tires on the inside or the outside, like on the sidewalls. That would indicate that you need to get it replaced, clearly. If you catch it on time, you want to check your frame for any kind of damage. Check your fuel tank. You guys might think it's funny, but I wipe mine down every time I get fuel. So this is clean. My hand's just dirty from the thumper, but this is clean because I just got fuel like an hour ago. I wipe this down. I wipe everything down because it splatters when you're fueling, and I can't stand having a dirty fuel tank. So I know I'm really weird. I wipe it down because I want it to be clean. So steps are clear, catwalk is clear. There's nothing on any of that. Kind of peek in here. I look at things from different angles because I might see something at a different angle that I didn't catch the first time around. See these tires? That looks good. That looks good. Sometimes I lose my train of thought about what I'm trying to say. All the bolts look good. That looks good. Because I'm really super distracted talking on the phone. Kingpin, locking jaws, all of my air, everything down there looks good. So I'm talking to you guys and trying to explain what I'm looking at, but I'm also trying to do a pre-trip or post-trip in this case. Lights working. Yep, that looks good. So I get distracted when I'm trying to explain things and I lose track of my words. So I know what the things are called, but if I sound like an idiot, well, it's because it happens to all of us. Anyways, suspension, airbags, those all look good. Brake chambers, air hoses, brakes, everything looks good. Shocks, yes, I do know what they're called. Okay, I got rocks in my tires. Like I said, I'm getting ready to do my 34, so I might bring a screwdriver out and pry those rocks out. I'm weird. I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to that kind of stuff. So this is a bit of an extensive. All of my little clippy things that hold everything together are in place. I always fix those if I see them wrong. I'm just very detail oriented. Marker lights working. Turn signal's on. License plate light is on. I don't know if you can see it, but those lights are all on up top on the top of the trailer. Now I'll check the other side. Oh, one more thing. My fog lights. Because then when I flip over and do the other side, I turn my brights on so that I can check all of them manually. Because when I had my level 1 done in Maryland, that light works. That light works. So now I'm going to flip my brights on and do the other side. So we have a button in our trucks called a light test. I'm going to do that. Anyways, we have a button up here. Where is it called? Light test. It's right there. You push that and it'll blink all of your lights in a fashion that you can see if it's working or not. And a Maryland DOT officer told me don't use that because, okay, brights, my brights and my turn signal, clearance lights are good. Anyways, he said don't use it because while that might work, that button might work, there might be something malfunctioning in like your stem that you use to turn your turn signals on and to actually manually put your turn signals on. So he said always check it manually, like put your turn signal on to check, just making sure that there's nothing caught up in here, no rocks or debris or garbage from the road. You know, this is again something that I normally just do and I don't mention it. I don't think about it, I don't say it. You know, I check my airlines, my brake chambers, my brakes, everything. Make sure there's nothing hanging that shouldn't be hanging. That is my air tank. So that's okay. That's supposed to be hanging. Normally I also, here, this is really easy to do. So we have these things called a flow below on our tires. it helps the with fuel. So I take those off. I make sure I don't have any cracked rims. I make sure that I have all of my bolts are on. This is just harder to do one-handed when I'm trying to video. But I do take these off and check. Let's see, I gotta line it up. Come on, here we go. Anyways, they go on and off fairly easy, but it's part of this flow below system that helps make your truck more aerodynamic. Come on. You know, so it doesn't catch on all of this stuff and the air just flows. So this is something that GP started doing with our drives. We've had this on our trailers. It's this automatic inflation system, which is kind of nice. I'm used to it on the trailers, but they just started doing it on all of the new tractors. So it's kind of nice. But I still check. I still thump my tires. I still look at them visually and make sure there's nothing going on with them. There's no bumps, no bruises, no abrasions, no nothing. Again, I look at things from a different angle. Air hoses, air tank, brake chamber, airbag, all the suspension items, the shock absorbers and everything. See, this is the flow, or not the flow below, this is the auto inflate system that once you put air to your trailer, it auto inflates. It keeps air going to the tires and everything. So it's kind of nice. I'm sure it's a pain in the butt for the guys that have to work on them, but I've never heard any complaints. So it just makes life a little bit more convenient. Turn signal's working. So like that's one of